welcome to Superscreen News at 6, broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos, State Nigeria. Many thanks for joining us. The National Assembly has reaffirmed its resolution of voted no confidence on the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris. This was one of the resolutions of the lawmakers after an emergency meeting and joint session which was held behind closed doors. The resolutions were read by Senate President Buhari. Saraki said the House has reaffirmed that earlier resolution who he said is not involved to decide over election Nigeria with an outright disregard for the policies of both the executive and legislature.
The Senate also resolved to sit with the House of Representatives in a closed executive session today to discuss national issues. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in closed session?
Since 1999, both chambers have held a joint closed-door session. And the Department of State Services, DSS, has partially returned some of its operatives who were withdrawn from the security team of the Senate President, Bukola Saraki. You will recall that the DSS had withdrawn some of its operatives from the security details of Bukola Saraki and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara. According to the report, about 5 of the operatives recalled have been returned back to the security details of the current Senate President. In view of the Not to Youth to Wrong Rule Bill, Nigerians have been urged to prepare themselves for the contesting in the public offices ahead of the 2019 elections. This appeal was made by a social commentator Wale Ogundare in an interview with Superscreen television today.
Some are ready, some are not ready. There are 3 things I see. You have to be politically ready, which means you must belong to a certain political party with certain ideologies. I think the second one is you have to be economically savvy, which means you must understand what the economy requires for it to grow. And that growth must be inclusive growth, which means everybody must have equal opportunities to grow and develop and be able to feed themselves. The third one is, I believe individuals must have the right cultural mindset, which means the mindset of knowing what is good, what is not good, and the willingness, to say, look, what I want to do is what is beneficial to everybody rather than what is beneficial to a few.
The Nasarawa State Police Command says 3 policemen have been killed by suspected headsmen at Maraban Udege village in Nasarawa local government area of the state. The public relations officer of the command, Samaila Usman, who disclosed this to journalists, said 3 policemen were ambushed and killed on June the 3rd on their way to quell a crisis between Agatu farmers and the Fulani herdsmen. Usman said the command has mobilized the reinforcement led by an assistant commissioner of police to fish out the killers of the men. He also said the corpses of the policemen and inspector, a sergeant and a corporal have been recovered and deposited at the morgue. And the Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal has approved the appointment of Umar Dodo as the substantive clerk to the State House of Assembly. Tambuwal, who disclosed this, said the appointment is in line with the law establishing the State House of Assembly Service Commission. The governor said a letter to the effect has been communicated to the new clerk. Dodo's appointment follows the demise of the former clerk, Alhaji Sulaiman Mohammed, who died on May 29, 2017. And the Ekiti State Governor, Ayodele Fayose, has won his Ondo State counterpart, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, to tread with caution over his support for former Governor Kayode Fayemi's governorship ambition on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Fayose, who disclosed this to journalists, called on Akeredolu to avoid things that can cause problems in Ekiti State. This is in reaction to the shooting of the former House of Representative member Okweyemi Bamidele and 5 others last week in Ado-Ekiti at an APC rally held in honor of Fayemi. Meanwhile, Governor Akeredolu had denied reports of being behind-the-scenes shooting. And the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Osun State has lashed out at the chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Gboyega Famodun, over his recent comment on those seeking its ticket for the Osun governorship polls. A statement signed by the PDP Publicity Secretary, Sunday Bisi, described Famodun's comment on the quality of governorship aspirants on the platform of the party as disparity. It said such statement, in which the competence and ability of PDP aspirants are questioned, reflects paucity of knowledge and respect for truth, adding that Famodun lacks decency in political discourse. And now government at all levels have been urged to deliver good governance to the Nigerian populace. This appeal was made at the Reed Lane for late Kudirat Alaba in Ikeja, Lagos State.
It is now 22 years that Kudirat Alaba was assassinated, precisely on June 4, 1996. The late Kudirat Alaba, a wife of late business tycoon and the adjudged winner of June 12 presidential election, MKO Abiola, died in her car from machine gun shots alongside her driver. Though in October 1998, Major Hamza al-Mustafa and former head of state Sani Abacha's son, Mohammed, appeared in court over charges of Kudirat Abiola's murder. And after the trial, Sergeant Barnabas Jabila confessed he was acting on al-Mustafa's order. Today, activists in Nigeria have not stopped their yearly ritual of where they gather for her remembrance. Here, in her honor, they lay a wreath at her gravesite.
This lady we're celebrating today, and I say now, that was a warrior, that was a protagonist of human values. And I opened up by saying that, I opened this little discourse by saying that this gift, this quality, this belonging is indivisible.
The murder of Kudirat Alaba must be linked to the farewell to poverty program of her husband. Therefore, all those who deprive our people, particularly the young one, education, by commercializing education, they continue to kill Kudirat Alaba.
Kudirat Alaba, you died for our collective struggle. It's our collective responsibility in ensuring that we keep your memory alive 22 years after. We will never ever forget the supreme price that you paid. Good night, Kudirat. And we promise that we'll never ever let you down.
The late Kudirat Abiola's children expressed sadness over the state of Nigeria with strong messages for Nigerian leaders. Other activists shared the same view.
The country and the people of Nigeria continue to suffer. it makes me sad. It makes me wonder if anything that they did has really made an impact. Both her and her husband and all the other people that went with them in the fight for democracy in Nigeria. We want to see the Nigerian people, no matter where they are, not being killed on their farms, not being killed on the streets, not being killed by people that are supposed to protect them, not being killed and harassed by police officers who sometimes take them so that they can shake them down for money.
My mom would be really pleased to see that after 22 years, we still have people who remember and respect and understand our struggle. It's very important that what we do while we're alive, it goes a long way. So we should act, our actions while we live follows us after we pass. So, 22 years, if somebody's still thinking about somebody 22 years later, that's to tell you that what am I doing with my life today that after I go, people will think about me.
Killer headsmen, sponsored by Atiku Abubakar, are terrorists in Nigeria. Why I say so is because a former minister in this country, Mr. Paul Nongo, a respectable minister, said it. Even if it was an insinuation, up to today, there has been no investigation on that issue, and the headsmen are still killing.
Those who said his killers, the man who masterminded her death, should be canonized and made a saint, are the best friend of those who call themselves her compatriots and co-progressive. I want her not to rest in peace. She must continue to hunt and hound them.
The death of Kudirat Alaba shall continue to haunt those who perpetuated evils on the common man in Nigeria. Thank you.
As many continue to speak in one voice for a better Nigeria, it will only be right for all the leaders to do the needful for the country to attain the desired heights. This can be the only compensation for those who have laid their lives for Nigeria.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has arraigned the suspended Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Muna Gwazo, and a Commissioner, Zakwana Garuba, for acts of corruption involving alleged mismanagement of over 115 million naira. The ICPC accused Gwazo of receiving a sum of 104 billion as severance benefits when he had yet to retire, resign or disengage from service, and also the sum of 10 billion in excess of a car grant in the same period. An Executive Commissioner, Corporate Services of the SEC, Garuba, was accused of conferring a corrupt advantage on another public officer and the person of Gwazo by approving the payments to the suspended SEC boss. An Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan has refused the application by a former governor, Adebayo Alao Akala, and the chief executive officer of Pentagon Consults, Olufemi Babalola, for a stay of proceedings pending the outcome of an appeal at the Supreme Court. The former governor, alongside the former commissioner for local government and chieftaincy affairs, Hosea Agbola, are standing trial for the offences bordering on alleged criminal conspiracy and fraudulent practices to the tune of 11.5 billion naira. Spokesperson for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Wilson Uwajeren, said they were earlier arraigned on an 11-count charge by the anti-graft agency. You're watching Superscreen News at 6, reaching you from Lagos. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some business stories. Welcome back to Superscreen News at 6, and now for some business stories. President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration has spent $9 billion on power, roads and railway in the country within the last 2 years. The president said it is part of the ongoing plans to diversify the economy through the development of tourism, agriculture and solid minerals, adding that the federal government is investing heavily on infrastructure. The president disclosed this at the 61st meeting of the United Nations World Tourism Organization and Commission for Africa in Abuja. The president said that as part of his social administration investment programs, the government is giving away 5,000 naira monthly to some 297,973 poor homes in the country. And some electricity consumers have taxed Ikeja Electricity PLC on the provisions of prepaid meters. The consumers, in an interview with Superscreen television, expressed an anger over estimated billings at the first meeting of electricity customers and complaints as well as resolution committee held in Bagada, Lagos State.
These are electricity consumers from different areas in Lagos State to as far as Ogun State, all under the Ikeja Electric PLC. They have gathered here on the invitation of the company to its first meeting of electricity consumers' complaints and resolution fair at Bagada. But what was meant to be peaceful turned out rowdy as the consumers had a confrontation with officials on ground.
They put all of us in the sun, even with the elderly, the sick, who have issues with them on their bills and power failure, irregular power supply, and overbilling, overestimated billing. We are all put in the sun, and we just discovered that this is uncalled for, this is not right. This is corruption of the highest order. In the first place, you are not giving us light, and you are giving us estimated billing, which is wrong. And that is why I am here to fight for it and to let the government know that government is a complicit in this issue. There is a compromise. The government should realize that the people of the country are suffering.
These aggrieved electricity consumers describe the fair as a ploy to deceive them with no plans of meeting their needs. While some complain of overbillings and estimated billings, others complain of issuance of electricity bills after disconnection.
They are not solving an issue. The only thing is that they ask people to write down their name and go away, which they are not even taking complaint from anybody. They want to use that as a gimmick, as a propaganda, to tell that they have attended to their customers in disco in the Ikeja distribution company. It's a fraud.
They are not working. Nothing is working here. See the crowd. Look at the crowd. My lad had been caught since January, and I told them to stop the bill because it happens to me. I traveled 4 years, and that was caught on top of my roof. 4 years, they bring the bill. I have here $500,000. I complained to all over the NEPA offices. Nobody is interested. Look at my bill. $500,000. You say a factory.
They urge the electricity company to provide them with prepaid meters.
We are expecting nothing from them other than prepaid meter.
Ikeja electric disturbance is too much. Imagine how many of these officials are here. We have been asking for prepaid meters, but none is forthcoming. They need to distribute the prepaid meter to everyone. It is unfair for Ikeja Electric PLC to move around with police during disconnection. What is it all about? We are tired of all this. For these consumers, provision of prepaid meters is the solution to estimated billings.
Still talking business, the Association of Luxury Bus Owners of Nigeria, ALBAN, has asked for the intervention of Vice President Yemi Oshibajo in lifting the ban on their business by Lagos State government. President and Chairman of the Ifesinachi Group of Companies, Emeka Mama, disclosed this to journalists after the group paid a court visit to Vice President Oshibajo at the presidential villa in Abuja. According to Mama, sometime in 2017, the Lagos State government issued an executive order directing all transporters on the Ikorodu corridor to relocate to Ojota. He said since the order, the group tried its best to meet the governor Ambode to resolve the problem without success. Mama also said that the deployment of police on the Ikorodu axis to stop the businesses of the bus operators in their private parks has crippled the transportation of persons and properties to different parts of the country. We'll take another break now. When we return, we'll take some foreign news and some sports stories. Stay with us.